Join us now as we're going up the steps into the front of the library. Please notice the wonderful columns that support the pediment. And above the pediment is the date, 1905. Then as we go on up the steps, we're coming to the original doors with the original brass pull. And above this door, I am so excited to point out to you, over the door is the transom with 55 small panes with their original surrounds. Is that not exciting? You will also notice that the construction of the library is brick and concrete, but also cut limestone. The steps and the supports for the foundation are cut limestone. If you'll take a good look at those, when I say cut, you will see they're very squarely or rectangularly done, but the exterior of the limestone is exposed. And the steps are the original steps smoothed off the limestone. Then as we go on down and around to the side, I want you all to see this foundation construction that I've already mentioned. This is a really good view of the cut limestone blocks topped by concrete, and you can get another good view of the columns and the pediment at the top of the columns. If you'll notice that the pediment has little projections hanging down, those are called dentils, and they're a very important part of construction of this era, 1905 to 1907. Please also note that the lettering is on the pediment saying Carnegie Library. The funds of $10,000 were given by the Andrew Carnegie Foundation. Andrew Carnegie, who was a steel magnate, just felt that he had to do something good with his money after he made so much. I'm glad he thought that. And so he constructed libraries over the United States. And this particular library was the first in construction, as I've mentioned earlier in the show, in Indian Territory. Notice also the windows with many of them with original panes. They're 6 over a plain bottom section of the window, and they're narrow. That particular one that I'm pointing to goes into the coat room. There were coat rooms on each side, as we have mentioned earlier in the show. And an interesting thing about this construction that I think, and I don't recall anyone ever really addressing this, over the windows there is a curved arch in the brickwork, which is almost Italianate. This is considered classical architecture, but that is a little feature that was worked in that could be considered Italianate. I think that I had mentioned earlier that William Alston was the contractor, and William Alston was an important builder in this community. He built a number of houses and was considered just an excellent contractor or builder. And so we have much in this community to say thanks to Mr. Alston for. Of course, he's no longer with us, but we're glad he was with us when he was. Think of the generations of people who have come here to learn and to read and to do lots of things that make a community important. Let's take a little stroll along the library grounds. When the town was being designed, this was designated as a park reserve, and so it still has many very old trees, lots of oaks, and at one time, well, still does, but at one time was entirely a block without buildings. And then, of course, the library was built, and the new addition, which we'll look at presently. A park reserve because the planners of Tahlequah, the city of Tahlequah, planned for beauty as well as professional and business interests. We certainly want you to take a look at the magnolia. Now, the magnolia is not as old as the building, but the magnolia is indeed a symbol of the Southland. And many of the people who settled in Tahlequah, including all those Cherokee people who had such an important part in the growth of Tahlequah, were Southerners. So it's small wonder that we like to look at that magnolia tree here on the grounds of the Park Reserve, now the Carnegie Library, or Tahlequah District Library grounds. Let's walk on over to the new portion that was built in 1978. In 1978, it was decided that we certainly had to have more room in the library for additional things, for more books, for tapes, for all the media that is possible in today's society, and for more people as Tahlequah has grown. So the addition was put on. It's a very modern addition, which generated quite a lot of conversation in 1978, but which melds in with the Carnegie portion very well today. It's joined in by a bridge work here that's really an open mall, glassed in with restrooms, and was possible to enter from the old portion, the Carnegie portion, because they simply took out two of the double windows like these and put in very nice looking doors to come down into the new portion. As we stroll around here, you will notice that they're proud of this particular sign, which says a branch of the Eastern Oklahoma District Library System, which enables this library, this site, to have access to many more volumes than it would have otherwise. We're strolling now along the grounds on the southern portion of the Park Reserve, and there are still wonderful trees here, although we did lose many of the maples that flamed gorgeously in the fall. As we come on around the walk, I'm going to step up here onto the ground and let you get a good view of the windows that open the interior, the reading room, into the outdoors. That's important in Tahlequah, to have the interior opened to the exterior of our beautiful city. And of course there is a view down toward the main street, Muskogee Avenue of the city, and also a view of the trees and some of the old homes here. Indeed, this is really a wonderful addition to the city of Tahlequah. Now, don't go away.